You know, the reason why I never learned angular.js is because nobody would ever show me or could ever show me what it can do that JQuery can't already do. Right now I'm more interested in d3.js. This is a library that allows you to draw charts from a set of data. D3 stands for data-driven documents. So on the left you see this chart. That's all coming from a database. Now what you see on the right, that's the chart representing the data from the database. So right now I can't add any records because I'm not logged in. I'm going to log in. So now I'm back. Now I have these buttons up here. I can add a record or I can edit some of these other records. Okay, so right now I'm going to add a record. This is a table. First of all, let me explain this table. So over here on the table, you have the name column. That's the name of the food type. Then you have the carbs, the fat. That's how many calories come from the carbs and how many come from fat and how many comes from protein. And the sum of the calories for each name of the food. Then we have the row for the sodium and potassium. But over here in the chart, that gives us a graphical representation of the different food groups within the table. So for example, I see the first one, I have ice cream, and I see that I didn't capitalize that, but maybe I can fix that. So I see ice cream is in the table right here, and it gives you 300 calories from carbs, 450 from fat, and 250 from protein. And the graph represents, the red represents carbs, the turquoise represents fat, and the blue represents protein. So anyway, it gives you a graphical representation of your data that you're also displaying in tabular form inside the database. So I want to show you about another library, and this is using the same data, okay, same table, but this time we have different pie charts. This is only for the sausage and beans and rice. You can compare these two by clicking filter. Now this comes down. You can choose. This is the left chart. So I want to choose ravioli, and I want to compare it to steak. I click save. And now I had to reload this, and now the ravioli and steak. Now I want to know, why did I have to reload that? I shouldn't have had. I'm going to choose two more, hamburger and hot dogs. So I have to click the reload button every time, and that's the issue I have to work out. I think that has an issue with PHP because all this stuff is PHP. Now what I mean by PHP is the filters, the add, and the edit buttons. That's PHP. This chart, the pie charts, are made with a library called charts.js. This table over here, that's made in JavaScript, but it draws data from a MySQL database so that I can add records, or I can edit records, or I can filter records. So I'm going to close that for now. I'm going to filter this record by, so I just want anything with a sum of less than 900. Okay, so now if you look in the sum, nothing over here should be more than 900. So if I want to filter it by 600. So anything with a sum of less than 600 will be left out. But if I want to switch that to greater than 600, now everything with a sum of greater, nothing here will have less than 600 because of the filter. You can always see the filters here. This one back here, I put the filters on this one, I put the filters right here. But anyway, so I still got, I can do some work. Here's another library that really fascinates me, Isotope. Okay, so this is the same data that we looked at in those other charts, but it's just rearranged differently, and there's no chart to it. So this is like this. These are different food groups. Pretend like they're just like a recipe. And here's the carbs, the fat, the protein, the sum of all the calories Then we have the sodium and the potassium. But these buttons over here, now this is going to add and edit. So we're not going to, we dealt with that in the others, but this is filter. This is with isotope. So if you want to filter by what particular name, like if I want mac and cheese, so I'd pull up all the metadata on this mac and cheese. Now this metadata could be much more intense. If you wanted to enter the data, you could enter the trans fats and all the other nutrients of this meal, okay? But you can also filter on carbs. Now if I click that, I'm not going to get any because I'm entering the number 0 in there, and that's another thing I got to fix. But anything less than 0 with carbs in it is going to be shown, but anything more will be filtered out. So if I add some to this, now anything less than 230 carbs in it will be filtered out. So we're going to see everything with more than 230 because we're filtered on less than. Now if I change that to greater than, and if I click this, and that's the reason why we didn't see anything before, now it changes to where anything that is, we're only showing anything greater than carbs being 250. Now we can also sort on these. So if I sort by carbs, I just click, and now we're sorted ascending, so 250, 250, 250, 300, 350, 400, but we're still filtered on carbs being more than 230. Now if we filtered on, say, some, say I want 600, tab off there, now we got 600, anything greater than 600 will show. Now if we go back here and sort by some, we're sort ascending, so 650, 660, 750, and all the way. Anyway, that's isotope.js. So I use MySQL and PHP in the back end. I use MySQL in the back end and PHP to connect the two. Then I use d3.js or charts.js or isotope.js, among other things. But anyway, that's what I'm working on now, and I don't really have time to work on angular.js. If anybody has any idea of what angular.js can do that just regular JavaScript can't do or JQuery can't do, let me know and I might look into it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hey, if you find this video interesting, please share it, and I'll see you later.